How did you get the Laker job? I know that's a really hard job to get, I'm sure
Yeah.
thousands of people don't like that job. How did you get that?
So, it's one of the things I have. I tell a lot of students, and you're right. A lot of when I was in college, explain this. When I was in college, I think I was my freshman year or sophomore year going that once I transferred majors into kinesiology to become a sports medicine, and there were students that were ready to graduate. And one of the things I remember them always talking about in the training room is like, hey, you know what? It's super hard to get in the professional level. It's almost impossible type of thing. I've always been a type A personality. And I'm like, you tell me I can't do it, I'm going to go do it type of thing. Right. So I thrive off that negativity type of thing. So I set my goal. Hey, I'm going to get there one way or another. Initially, I wanted to get into the NFL, be a head athletic trainer in there, but that didn't kind of work out. So um, one, I would probably tell a lot of students, perseverance. It's got to be the number one thing. You got to persevere. You got to keep plugging away. On that part. There's a little borderline between annoyance and arrogance. You kind of have to kind of be careful with, but perseverance. So the way I started is I did all the research when I first was out here. We didn't have an NFL team. We had a new team coming in called the LA Avengers. They were in a football team, so I called them up. I finally got hold of the head out there trainer. I got in there a little bit late. He tells me, hey, you know what? We already have our interns. Wait till next year. So I waited a week. I called him up again. I tried a different angle. Hey, I just want to come in, maybe just clean your cold tubs, fill up your tape, whatever you need. It's like, no, Marco, we're good. We know we got our interns. Wait another week. Try a different angle. And I think finally my perseverance was like, hey, all right, fine. Come on in. I'll find something you can do. And after that, that's kind of I got my foot in the door with that part. Now, the other aspect with the Lakers specifically is there's two things that I always believe in, and I tell a lot of student athlete trainers or therapists and stuff like that. One, the definition of luck, right? I have to be honest. Luck had to do a little bit with me getting in with the Lakers, but the definition of luck is when the opportunity meets your preparedness, meaning, right? You got to be prepared. So when the opportunity rises, because the opportunity rises, and if you're trying to be a therapist and you don't have your license, you don't have your experience, you're not going to get it. You may be the most experienced at therapist, but if the opportunity does not arise, they have to kind of meet together. Unfortunately, and I think that's kind of what happened with me when I was with the Lakers. The opportunity arose, and I was prepared. I had my license, I had everything, I had my experience. But even taking a step further, the way I actually got into the Lakers is that I first started working with the LA Sparks. At the
Mm,
time, the LA Sparks were owned by the Lakers, so that's how I got my foot into the Laker family, so to speak. And the
mm.
Sparks, our locker room, our training room was literally across the hallway from the Lakers locker training room. So that's how I got to meet Gary Vitti. I got to meet Alex McKegney. I got to meet Chip Schaefer, the whole entire staff. Slowly by slowly, they asked me, "Hey, you know what? We're going to town. Help us during training camp. Help us during summer league and stuff like that." Now, little did I know that while they were doing this, is that was kind of my interview process, so to speak. So when the opportunity arose,
Wow.
you know what I'm saying? And this is what I tell a lot of student athletic trainers. Hey, everybody thinks, hey, you know what? Oh, I got an interview. I'm gonna put on, my suit, my tie. I'm gonna put my big Sunday suit on because I gotta kill this interview. No, 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 no. Your interview is how you perform the last couple of years. Everybody's been watching you. They've been seeing how you interact with the athletes. They see how you interact with the clients. They see how you interact with the coaches, how your professionalism. That is your interview. Because once you get to the interview, that's just a formality thing. They know that where you're going to get the job, unless you go in there and you destroy the interview and say something like dumb. That's kind of that type of thing, right? But other than that, and that was kind of my interview when I went with the Lakers. Later, I found out, hey, they're bringing me in because they're testing me out. They want to see how I work. During summer league, they brought me in during training camp. I went with them to Hawaii while I was still with the Sparks. I thought, that was a great opportunity, but then I found out, hey, they were testing me. See, okay, how are you going to handle this? How are you doing this type of thing? So, um, again, that's kind of how I finally got into the Lakers. And then finally, once a position opened up with the Lakers, I interviewed for it and got on board.